This is a big deal. So why is water called the universal solvent? Well, you can thank its unique structure for that title. And without this property of water, life as we know it wouldn't exist. HMM. Can you name that tune? Okay. Let's get into it. To understand why water is called the universal solvent, we need to first define a solvent. A solvent is a substance that dissolves other substances. When we make salt water, for example, the salt dissolves in the water. In this case, water is the solvent and the salt is the solute, which is the substance that is being dissolved. Or when you add sugar to tea, the sugar dissolves in the tea. Here, the tea is the solvent and the sugar is the solute. Now, water is a special kind of solvent because it can dissolve more substances than any other liquid on Earth. So how does dissolving work? Let's take salt as an example. When salt dissolves in water, the water pulls the sodium and chloride ions in the salt apart because the water molecules are attracted to the sodium and chloride ions. The water surrounds the sodium and chloride ions and pulls them away from each other until they are completely dissolved. You can think of it like a group of friends holding hands in a circle. If one person tries to join the circle, they'll have to break the hold hands and then they can join the group. That's how water breaks up the salt. Now, for sugar, water also surrounds the individual molecules of sugar, but it's a little different because the molecules are held together by hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds are a special type of bond that is a bit weaker than the bonds within the molecules themselves, but still strong enough to hold the molecules together. So water forms hydrogen bonds with the sugar molecules and pulls them apart, breaking the bonds between the sugar molecules. Once the water breaks up the sugar molecules, they're surrounded by water and they're dissolved. It is like breaking up a group of kids playing tag and then each kid gets a hug from someone else. So that's how water dissolves things. Now, why is water such a good solvent? It all comes down to the structure of the water molecule. Water has a pretty unique molecular structure. Each water molecule is made of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. The oxygen atom has a pretty big electron and negatively charged particle, while the two hydrogen atoms each have much smaller electrons. Because oxygen is bigger, it pulls harder on the electrons, and when the electrons are pulled toward one side of the molecule, that side becomes slightly negative and the opposite side becomes slightly positive. So each water molecule acts like a tiny magnet with one side being slightly negative and the other side being slightly positive. We call these molecules polar. Because water is polar, it can attract and surround many different types of molecules. Water's polarity is crucial to its ability to dissolve many substances. When water interacts with other polar molecules, like ions or other polar molecules like itself, the positive side of one water molecule attracts the negative side of another molecule and vice versa. This attraction between the positive and negative sides of molecules is what causes them to dissolve in water. Water is sometimes called the universal solvent, but it doesn't dissolve everything. For example, water can't dissolve oils and fats because they're nonpolar, meaning they don't have a positive or negative side for the water molecules to interact with. However, water's range of solutes is far greater than that of any other solvent. So why is water considered the universal solvent? Well, first off, it's a liquid at room temperature and it dissolves more substances than any other liquid on Earth. But most importantly, it supports life. Water is essential for all known life on Earth. It's a critical component of cells and organisms where it carries nutrients, minerals, oxygen, and waste. Water also plays a major role in weathering rocks and soil, which provides the raw materials for life. Nearly all of the water on Earth is found in the oceans, where it forms solutions with various salts and minerals. These solutions sustain aquatic ecosystems and support diverse life forms, and it's all thanks to water's amazing solvent power, from the tiniest cell to the largest ecosystem. Water is the key ingredient of life itself, so next time you take a sip of water, remember, it's not just refreshing, it's the key ingredient of life itself. And if you want to learn more about the amazing properties of water, click here to watch our video, Why is water hard to understand? Or click here to watch this video. Thanks for watching.